Right guys, we have a new report regarding an iPad Ultra in the works, and so let's delve into it. So yes, we have a source sharing images of a screen protector listing for the 2022 M2 iPad Pros, and you can see that alongside the existing 11-inch and 12.9-inch size, there is a new 14-inch size. Now this is not the first time we've heard about this because Majinbu, a pretty credible source, did tell us Apple was developing a new 14-inch iPad Pro M2 with 512 gigs of storage and 16 gigs of RAM as standards. However, there has also been conflicting reports from Ross Young telling us the 14-inch iPad's actually going to be a bigger version of the iPad Air with, of course, 60Hz and no mini LED. Now yes, I know that Ross Young's very credible, but that makes no sense because why would the iPad Air get a bigger screen size than the iPad Pros? Surely Apple wants to upsell you to the Pro models, and so 14 inches coming to the iPad Pros makes the most sense. And since the original Majinbu reports and this new tidbit does corroborate with each other, I do think we are getting an iPad Ultra. And why I think it's going to be Ultra is because we have had reports Apple's going to give us an iPhone 15 Ultra next year with exclusive features, and they did that this year with the Apple Watch, and so it seems that from now on all products are going to get Halo products in the form of the Ultra, so the iPads following suit in this aspect does make sense. And actually, since there has been concepts of Dynamic Island coming to the iPads, maybe this will only come to the bigger size, since the island's going to help with multitasking on the iPads, and so I can see Apple reserving that for the highest end version. In fact, I could see the island being a virtual touch bar of sorts for the iPads, and maybe even becomes a permanent dock where of course you can place your most used apps. I think that would be great. So yes, I can see many benefits of having Dynamic Island on the iPad. And while Apple being Apple, they want to upsell you to the higher end models, so reserving this just for the iPad Ultra makes sense. Though of course, if we do see a bigger iPad, I'm also hoping we see software upgrades that justify getting this, since I'm pretty sure this will be very expensive, and so actually giving us pro apps, or of course more macOS-like features to take advantage of the M2 chip. Because I'm sure the hardware on this iPad Ultra is going to be great, but there's no point spending $1,600 on this if the software is going to be limited. But I guess for those who do artwork on the iPad, they're going to appreciate the bigger size, and for those who can make their workflow work with iPadOS, I can see this being a decent upgrade. Anyways, let's delve into your comments. So one CTF says, I have the M1 iPad Pro and I'm excited for the M2 models but worried about the performance and also battery life because M2's more power intensive. Now that is a fair point because the MacBook Airs did have huge controversy because of the thermals, and so maybe we see thermal issues. The thing is though, iPadOS is really never going to be pushing these devices to the limits, and so I doubt the M2 is going to have any thermal issues. And since I don't think there's going to be any big thermal issues, I also think battery life should be the same for the most part, though I'm actually praying Apple improves the battery life for once, since the iPad's been at 10 hours for years, and so improving upon that for the bigger models, and maybe the Ultra would be great. So Maxit says, hi, do you think it's worth getting the M2 iPads or buying the M1 right now, of course, with the back to school deal and of course, get $150 gift cards? And well, to be honest, I think you should do something completely different, and that's look for M1 iPad Pro deals elsewhere, because these here in the UK have got a lot cheaper from other retailers and are better than the back to school deal because unlike Apple who gives you a gift card, you actually get a discount on the product. But if those are your only two options, I do still think you should wait for the M2 versions and see what they offer, because if you're paying retail price for the M1 iPads directly from Apple, it's possible you get a much better product with the M2 iPads in a few weeks for the same price. And leaks can be wrong at the end of the day, so yes, if you can wait, definitely wait for the M2 models, but if you find a really good deal on the M1 iPads through third parties, definitely go for that. And actually, regarding the education discount, we have a question whether the M2 iPads are gonna get this. And yes, Apple should be offering this on the education store, but of course, the back to school promo where you get a gift card will no longer be available for these M2 iPads. You'll have to wait till July 2023 to, of course, get gift cards with these iPads. So King says, 11-inch mini LED makes sense to me, and yes, I'm hoping this is the case. I know leaks have been suggesting the smaller size is not getting mini LED, but of course, as I've said in the past, I do think the 11-inch M1 iPad Pro and Air are way too similar, so of course, to differentiate these products, giving the Pro mini LED would make sense. And considering the iPhone Pros and the MacBook Pros have the same specs across the sizes, I do think that should apply to the iPads, since some do prefer the smaller size, but want all the Pro features. Then again, I guess because the iPad experience is very similar across all iPads, Apple wants to upsell you to the highest end models, so yes, from a business perspective, I can see why Tim's doing this. I just still hope we see mini LED on the 11-inch size. So Tashi says, do you think there's going to be a price change with the 11-inch size? And this again depends on, of course, if we get mini LED or not. If we do get it, then yes, there's going to be a price increase. But if we don't, then I don't think Apple can justify a price increase. However, do remember this only applies to the US. Outside of the US, you're going to see massive price hikes either way, because we saw that with iPhones due to inflation and exchange rates, and so the same's going to apply to the iPads. And so that's why, once again, I do recommend that, of course, if you do find a good deal on the M1 models from third parties, definitely get those. So Dan says, why would anyone care about the iPad Pro cameras? I think Apple puts the ones currently to make it look higher end, but of course, not actually for use. And that is a fair point. I've always been against iPad Pros getting insane cameras. We don't need it, and I'd much rather not have a camera bump. And maybe you are right that Apple's giving us dual cameras on the back to make this camera module look better than other iPads. But guys, tell me in the comments below, would you be interested in a 14-inch iPad? Anyways, thank you for watching guys. Make sure to like and subscribe for the latest Apple news and rumours. Check out the video in the card above on details regarding the iPad 10, and on that note, see ya peeps.